Again, let's call our home is our escape, right? After a long day of work, the last thing anybody wants to do is come home and fight with their house.
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Smart Home Day.
Happy Smart Home
Uh,
Day.
Nice. Happy
every,
Smoke Harm Day. It's Monday, right? Woo.
It
Back
is.
at it.
Ken, thank you so much to you and Hill Residential for allowing them to have you on the podcast here at Home is the Escape. That's the name of the podcast. We're here for a conversation. I hate the word podcast. And you've been in the industry longer than most, right? I mean, I don't even know how to say it. Like you're a legend, dude. You've been to
I
Crestron
appreciate
for, I
that.
think you said 15 years. You
Yeah.
definitely have the experience, and with Lutron. Of course, we're joined by my co-host, Wayde Alfarone, the skipper to his Marianne and the professor.
Yes.
Nice.
The
Nice.
So,
professor.
Ken, as we were just discussing off air, what's this podcast about? It's about home as the escape. And you said some interesting things, and I just want to get your take on what a smart home is, maybe some of the things that you love about your own home, right? Not just diving into the technology, but what you enjoy when you go home.
Well, so again, let's call our home is our escape, right? After a long day of work, the last thing anybody wants to do is come home and fight with their house, right? We call this smart home, and I think that's kind of a term that's been painted on it. But what is that? That's a home that should understand how I live, what I want, and there's a lot of great companies out there that provide that automation technology. But I've been in the automation side of it for probably 20 years since it started with some of the big companies, right? And when you step back at it, the one thing I hear from consumers is I want it to be easy. And while I love my integrator, I don't want my integrator to live with me. And I think technology as it continues now with, let's give AI what it is, right? You can do some crazy things with what AI is doing, but there's a lot of products that are integrating simplicity into things that you want. Like I should be able to know that when I pull in my driveway, my house should know I'm home. Maybe some lights come on. They'll allow me to come into my house, be safe. That's where I'm looking at technology, right? That's the kind of stuff I want. And I think that, there's just so much out there that I had a client say the other day, well, I'm just going to buy it off of Amazon and it's going to do what it does. And I'm like, no, 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 it won't. It will do some, but it won't do all that what I think you're looking for. And that's where our world, the CI world needs to, I'll say, tell that story a lot better than they're telling it right now.
So Wade's going to raise his hand and completely disagree with you about Amazon Alexa, which it's good. It's good because,
Okay.
you know, Amazon is for the masses, and that's what National Smart Home is. We're not here to judge. It's a safe space, as I always say.
Sure.
But Amazon does have its space, and you come from the CI world where custom installations and the much more elaborate systems work. So Wade, tell us.
Yeah. So I'm not actively involved in that world at this
You
Okay.
time.
what?
So I don't know. Maybe I've gotten a little lazy. But I've put. We talked about this on the last episode where my boat is completely outfitted with Amazon Alexa, and it works. It's easy, it works, and I don't have to worry about calling someone in to fix the code or solve a problem for me because it just works pretty simplistically, right? And you're right, it doesn't do everything, but it does a lot. And
Yep.
if you buy everything that is Alexa enabled, um, it seems to work pretty flawlessly. It just works because it's designed to work with those devices. Of course, it's a nightmare if you get the wrong stuff. You try and integrate the wrong stuff with it, it's a nightmare, and it just doesn't work. But if you're cognizant of that when you purchase whatever it is that you're trying to integrate with it works pretty well and it's inexpensive. So that's just the other side of that. But no, it's not going to do what Crestron does for sure. But it's also $29 for each Echo.
And
You
I
know,
agree. And you know what? Outback makes a great filet mignon, but when you go into Smith and Walensky's in Manhattan, it's a
yes,
whole nother level, right?
yes
It's
it is.
table service, and you leave there, it's an experience, right? So,
Yes,
and you know what? You're right. I think the beauty behind Amazon is that it gives the customers out there a chance to experience some things differently than they have before, right? And I
right,
joke, I tell my kids, hey, I'm good to get up off the couch and go turn on that light switch. You know why? It works 100% of the time
right.
because that's me. Um, and I think you might be maybe not the norm. You get an average consumer that may or may not know how to put that all together. And if there's a bad experience,
Right.
that blankets that stuff doesn't work. And that's not true, right? We both know that. And that's
Right.
why, look at BMW. They make a 1 series, a 3 series, a 5, and a 7. You
Yes.
get a BMW experience across all of those, but there's also different price points. They get that customer going, wow, I own a luxury product. I strive to get to that 7 series. How do I get there? And that's what Alexa does. And you're right. And I've seen I'll call it the line creep into our industry. People are now going, hey, well, why can't my Amazon Alexa work with the Crestron system? Or hey, why doesn't my doorbell ring work with this and that? So there's a merge going
Right.
on in the industry that I just think you and us and all of us, we all owe that to the client to just keep educating and saying, hey, you'll get this, but you're not going to get that. And if you don't want that, then that's going to be right for you. And just go there.
So Ken, you work with Lutron. I mean, and you said they have a good, better, best system, and I have Lutron in my house. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I could tell you my experiences with it, which I'd love to share with homeowners and why I have Caséta. It's the entry level of Lutron, as you know.
Yeah.
But as the expert in Lutron lighting and shades, can you go over some of the scenes and some of the benefits and stuff like that about Lutron and what you love about it, or you know homeowners love about it?
Well, I think it simplifies. Let's face it, right? There's this new thing out there with tunable lighting, and there's all kinds of reports about circadian rhythm and why. Guess what? Let's take it all the way back to the sun and the caveman, right? The sun rises, the caveman gets up, and as the light changes, he's out in the middle of the day hunting. And then once he's finally got food, he comes home and there's the fire and the daylight sets and everybody chills out. The cave is the home, right? So Lutron looks at that and says, hey, we've got lighting, we've got shades. Both of those control the light, both outside and inside. So to their selections, Caséta is their entry level. It gives you some basic control. It's not a complicated system. Got a wonderful app. Homeowners can use it right out of the box, right? It doesn't require getting an electrician. You swap out your normal toggle switch, put in Caséta. You can do a really, really cool little automated system. You want the next level, you move into RadioRA. That offers even more variety of tying into different keypads and colors and different shades. Then you can go to the big daddy of HomeWorks, Ketra, full color RGB. So I think it's again back to that homeowner of we all don't really need lighting control, but guess what? There's something really nice about being able to push my lights from my app on my way home,
I was
and my
going to
house
say,
is now lit, right?
can you explain to those that don't know how you use this? Like, what is it? An app on your phone? Is it something that or are there
Yeah, it
remote
ties in. Yeah,
controls?
there's a Lutron app, right? And the app brings up whatever you decide to put into the app. You can check some boxes and build that for you, but it's literally tied around what systems do I have in my house. Like again, we all have thermostats. I love being able to check the temperature in my house on my way home, and I turn my temperature off when I'm not here, and I can turn it on. So when I walk in my house is 68, 70 degrees, depending on what it is outside. There's some value in that. There's some, I'll say, luxury quality living to that, but also I need to turn my heat on anyway. Why do I want to do that and wait 30 minutes till I'm home when I can have my house all ready to go when I step into it? And I think it's about not about selling the equipment. It's about what does that equipment do for you as far as a better quality of life in my home. And that back to this is the vehicle that's letting me happen. You got all those apps that tie it all together, and suddenly the homeowner doesn't need to have a complex system because there's parts and pieces that are sort of just happening by the sheer nature of them. Hey, I've got them in there. I mean, they just happen. Now you got what Google, I think is it Siri or whoever's tied into Sonos. I can now talk to my Sonos and have it play music where before you couldn't do that. So you just keep seeing these features that people want to do and keep adding into systems, and it's happening now faster than it's happened before in our industry, without a doubt.
One of my favorite things with my Lutron Caséta is security. With the shades and the lighting, when I go away, I have so much confidence because number one, I could open up the app and I could lower the shades or raise the shades. I could turn the lights on and off. But even better than that, you have that away button and it's replicating me living in the home, right? So I have my outdoor lights go on 20 minutes after sunset, which is cool. Those
Mm-hmm.
lights, I don't have to touch them. And they come on, they go off at 20 minutes after sunrise. And we had, for the summertime, the air conditioner, I had to bring out the air conditioner. And I unplugged the Lutron, the box. What's that called? The Lutron. for
Processor?
Caséta. What's that?
The gateway? The
The bridge,
processor?
yeah.
Yeah, the
So
bridge. Yeah.
every night before I walk the dogs, I'd have to turn the light on, and then I would go out in the next morning at 11 o'clock in the morning, and the lights are still on because I assumed it was still on the schedule, and it was so I felt embarrassed for my neighbors, like they're like this guy leaves his
Yeah.
outdoor lights on all the time because I wasn't used to manually doing it. So between the outdoor lights coming on after sunset, and then automatically, and then in the house itself, I make sure all my kitchen lights and all the sconces are off at 1 o'clock in the morning. And can you expand on some of the experiences that your homeowners have? Well, Wade, what do you use yours for?
Well, so I told you I'm staying mostly on the boat now.
Right.
Nice.
And I mean, I have Alexa throughout the whole boat, and it has an away mode, has the home mode, away mode,
Mhm.
so I can do all those things with Alexa. I can turn lights on and off. I can set scenes. Um, so the security, for example, when I hit the away button and I leave the boat, all the cameras become instantly armed. Right. So if it catches any motion within a certain definable area, it'll trip and it'll start recording, and I instantly get notified, no matter
Right.
where I am. Right.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter where I am. If I've got internet access or my phone has internet access, I get notified instantly, and I can immediately look at the cameras and see who's where and what's going on. So it's a security system built in without it even being a security system.
So
It's
what lighting do you have on your boat? May I ask?
So everything that I have is mostly controlled by the smart outlets,
Okay. Yep.
right? So you just
Yep.
plug the smart outlet in, connect it to Alexa, and then plug your whatever it is that you want to operate. I even had a situation where I was operating an AC because one of the problems on boats is that they purposely keep all these companies out, right?
Hmm.
So the thermostats, for example, they're not Wi-Fi compatible. They're not anything compatible because they don't want them to be, right? Either that or they're just really behind on everything. But the point is, I couldn't control the air conditioning, so I wound up. But the default on my system was that it would come on at whatever it was last set to, so I would basically just plug that into a smart outlet for the controller, and I kind of well, all right. So because of my tech background, I figured out how to do it. The average person's not going to be able
I
to
was
do
just saying,
it.
you figured it out. Yep.
I figured it out, but that's one of the big problems, right? Is that most people are not going to be able to do that. So, like you said, some of the companies just haven't figured out that it's to their benefit to
Or they
work
look.
together. Absolutely.
So, and again, I
so
think everybody's got to look at what's important to me? What do I want in my house?
Yeah.
Um, I try to keep, even though I'm in the industry, I want it to be simple. I want somebody that doesn't live here to be able to come here and still be able to do some things. Because if it's, I'll call it that's my litmus test. If they can't,
Right.
then that's not really what I need or what I want, right? It's just
Right.
everybody, the grandmother test, she should be able to turn the light on and off. And if she can't, then I think we've missed the boat.
Yeah, absolutely. We were
100%.
talking about that the other day. That was one of my arguments about Amazon Alexa is that my mother's 87 and I talked her through it on the phone and it works perfectly.
So
Now
there you
she
go.
may be the exception. I don't know because I don't know. Maybe the average 87-year-old would not be able to do that. She still drives, every day and is out and about, and she could be in better health than I am. Who knows? But so I guess it depends on the person. But she did it.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing
So
a theme here. I'm seeing a theme, which is confidence, right? I said I
Yeah.
have confidence when I leave my house and I go away on vacation with shades and lighting that people think I'm home. Wade leaves his boat in confidence because he's got his security cameras and he sees porch
right.
pirates or whatever's going on at the house at
Yeah.
any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ken, you just mentioned a different kind of confidence, is that when your grandma or your mom comes over, that you're confident she's going to be able to use the system without having
Yep.
to call you and text you and just say, and then it's frustrating. So now the attraction of having all this stuff that's cool for
Oh,
us becomes a distraction and
yeah.
an aggravation for those who we love and want us to come to our house. And like, I'm not coming to your house. You got all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how to turn a light on in the bathroom.
Yeah, right. And again, there's other feature sets that I've heard people that have had the complex systems, and now they're maybe, the kids are out of the house, they're downsizing. It's interesting to see what they want and what's important to them, right? And I tell this kind of a story as, what are two things that every house has? They've got light and they've got windows, right? So at some point, no matter whether it's just a standard light you just turn on or off, but the more that people get educated that there's this light out there that's tunable, and it's, there's something warm about it at night. You don't want a blasting 5,000 Kelvin degree light on in the middle of the night. Your body just doesn't want that. You want to chill out. So you want your light nice and warm. And when people are starting to find out that those things are available, like, kudos to Philips Hue. They've kind of put lighting into, I'll call it the do-it-yourselfer, that they can change it. I was having dinner with my future son-in-law last night, and he was excited. He was running around with remotes, turning on all these different lights and saying, oh, that one's on my artwork, and this one's over my countertop. And I'm like, wow. But he's into it, right? Everything is automated. He's got all these little remotes. So I said, we need to get you to another level. And he'll get there because he loves it, right?
Right.
And kudos to Lutron, which is started by Joel Spira. And when I was at Lutron, man, that guy is a legend. And I don't think his story is told enough. When you're trying to go to Lutron, I mean, Joel Spira, like you said, back to the cave days, he was so obsessed with lighting. He invented that first dimmer, right, Ken?
Yep, first dimmer. And I actually heard, it was funny. We were at an event last night, and someone said his ultimate goal was he wanted to learn how to control the sun. So, right? So I guess secondarily he kind of did, because he can, with shades and lighting, he's kind of playing on that. He wants to bring outside inside to the house. And
we all had that dimmer in the dining room, that round dimmer. It's in the Smithsonian.
You're absolutely right.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It looked like a volume control.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, let's do a speed round of questions, Ken. I'm gonna, ask you some questions. I just want to know what you like. So the first question I have is, remote control, voice control, or mobile phone when you're in your home controlling things. What's your favorite?
I'm gonna say a remote, only because it sort of is tied into everything that I have. But as apps continue to get better, voice, it's 50-50. It will get better. Right now, I don't think it's reliable enough that I want to have my whole house running on it. That's just my opinion.
Wait, what's your question, bud?
So, if you had to choose an order of importance, what's more important to you, lighting or shades? Which would be the most important thing for you to tackle first as a homeowner?
Lighting, because there's more of it in my house, and I want different things from it. A shade for me, it raises and lowers, it's up and down, it closes off. I want to have control of my lights, whether it's a task light, a chill light, and there's different areas where I need different types of lighting. So lighting would be priority for me.
Okay.
With home audio, what's your setup at home? What's your favorite kind of setup? Are you a Sonos guy? Are you an Alexa Pup guy? Are you a hi-fi guy? Like, where do you get that emotion from music?
I have two. My main system, just because I'm in a townhouse and I'm cognizant of my neighbors, I have a Sonos bar on an 85-inch TV that I can get to my Pandora, my Spotify. But I also have a 2-channel system in my living room where at night I'll turn the lights down, nice glass of tequila, and I will listen to some fine, truly 4K, whatever, let's call it uncompressed audio, and just really get immersed. And that's where I'm at. So I've got two different systems.
Okay, speaking of immersion, headphones or floor standing speakers?
Floor standing speakers. There's no experience when you sit down and listen to a great pair of speakers. And I tell my kid this, who just literally lives in earbuds, and I think that's a generational thing.
Well, I didn't say earbuds. I was thinking Stax electrostatic
or even
headphones.
phones, even headphones, right? I used to be in radio. I had a pair of Koss headphones, and they were amazing, but nothing like a pair of speakers. Just we'll leave it at that.
Gotcha.
Last question. Home theater or public theater?
Oh, if you're going to a good Dolby Cinema, there's nothing like it. But home theater at my own house, wish I had one. I don't have the room for it. So Dolby Cinema is the next best place to go.
Wayde will take you and he'll buy the
Wow.
popcorn. He loves $35 popcorn.
I'm
Yeah,
in.
I'll buy the $35 popcorn.
Yeah, there you go.
You tell the kids to shut up.
I'm in all day long. Do that nighttime viewing when they're in bed.
All
I
right, you
will
guys.
say, as much as I don't like public theaters, I will say I did go see a movie with, I think it was F1. I went to see with my son in a THX theater, and it was very impressive. And it was a good time only because we went at matinee and there was nobody in the theater.
Yeah, there you go. So you had it to
Thank you
yourself.
guys.
Yeah, so that was pretty good.
Let's
Awesome.
wrap it up. Ken, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your experience, your wisdom. And we definitely want to have you on again when we have a lot more time and just discuss. We can go back into the industry. But for the most part, you taught us that the cave is the escape.
Yep, exactly. Escape the cave.
Yeah, that's right.
Rob, Wayde, pleasure. You guys have a great week, and look forward to our next chat.
Ken, thank you so much. It was
Thank you,
a
brother.
great conversation. Really
All
enjoyed
right,
it.
man.
And
Likewise.
National Smart Home Day.
National
Yes.
Smart Home Day.
Yes,
Smart Home Day.
Let's get the button. Let's make it
that's
happen.
right. We need buttons.
See ya.
Take care.